So yesterday, the latest figures on Irish homelessness show that there is 10,500 people in Ireland, men, women and children, who are homeless. That's a record since 2019. At the same time, the government, through its free choice, has introduced almost 50,000 refugees from Ukraine, or people who claim to be from the Ukraine, although maybe it's not where they got their suntan from by the looks of it. And then on top of that, 10,000 people who are claiming international protection, which is refugee status. I'm in Letterkenny at the moment. A petrol station there 2 nights ago, and asked these guys where they're from. They're Roma, about 12 guys, all about 19, 20, 21, all Roma. They're in Ireland. There's no war where they're from. They're here for the welfare benefits. They're here for the free housing. They're here for the easy life, for their non-contribution to Ireland. They're no asset to our country. They will be a great liability. As we can see where I'm from, in County Louth, there was a guy there, a Slovak Roma, who had raped a girl of 14, spent 2.5 years in jail in the UK, and then came to Ireland. Why did he come to Ireland? Because his mother, Slovak Roma, had been given a free house, 3-bedroomed house in Mid-Louth, and he came to live with her, even though he was up to be deported from the UK. But anyway, back to our situation at the minute. Ireland is obviously full. There's 2.5 students in September will have nowhere to stay, no accommodation available, because they are full of Ukrainian refugees. Irish students should have priority over any of these people. We got to get the message out that Ireland is full. What is taking place in Ireland at the minute is tantamount to a second plantation of Ireland. We had the plantation of Ulster in the 17th century. We're still bearing the consequences of it. None of those consequences are good. All it led to constant conflict, which is still ongoing today, and we would be incredibly naive to think that our population can go up by almost 20% of our population can be made, 17 to 20% of our population can be made up of non-Irish nationals, and yet there's not going to be any hassle, because when resources are scarce and the population is big, well, there's conflict over resources. And in matters of education, of housing, and in medical care, they are all limited resources which are provided for by the Irish taxpayer. And yet, if people coming in provide nothing and take, well, that's a recipe for resentment. So we've got to make clear to all the politicians out there, by the way we vote and by the way we interact with these politicians when we meet them, we got to make clear that Ireland is full. A second plantation of Ireland is not acceptable, and that Irish people and Irish students should come first. They should be first on the housing list, and that at the moment we don't need and we cannot take anybody else. So I'm in Letterkenny at the minute. I see that students who want to come and study in Letterkenny will have to go as far as Carrickfinn, and that's miles away. And they come back to find that their accommodation is full of Ukrainian refugees. Well, that's just not acceptable. We've got to say, Irish students first. Ireland is full. We've got to look after Irish people. Gora Margaret, have a great evening, and I hope you and your family are keeping well. I'd ask you to do us a favour, to give a like to this video, to make sure to subscribe to the channel, and also share it with your friends and your family, so we get the message out that Irish people should be sovereign in our own country. Gora Margaret.